Hi everybody, this is Anthony from Sunny Creates. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So I've got something quick I want to show you today. It is not my idea. I have taken it from Shabby Dabby Doodah, her flip throughs. So I've been watching them again, reruns of them, of her journal flip throughs. So I thought I would show you what I'm going to do, and I actually highlighted the page that I was going to work with, and then I thought about it and I was like, no, I don't think I'm going to use that page. I think I'm going to use that page over here. Okay, so this is the page I'm going to use, and I did do some preparation on the item that I'm going to be showing you today. And the reason why is that I did some gluing on it, and I was going to sew around it. I might still sew around it, but nevertheless I wanted to show you what I did. Sorry, just having my coffee. It is a rather cold day here today in South Africa, double layers. So what I'm going to do, firstly, I am going to quickly distress my page because I forgot to do that. And yeah, I think I'm just going to have a few more on this kit here, the bustling bees. And then what we're going to do next is that we are going to start preparing for a neutral junk journal. So before I get into that, I am very rude, so please excuse me. I'm just so excited to talk to you about that because I have some ideas in my head. But let's start with, I hope you are all well. I hope you are having an awesome crafting time, and I hope your families are well, and I hope that you are enjoying either the cold depending where you are in the world, or either the warm weather. I know that now it's really getting cold here in South Africa. You can actually feel it in the air and in the mornings. Yeah, we in our part of the world, we go down to 1-0 on at times the snow the snow indicator or the what's that sheet, can't get the word, but you know, that comes on in the car on occasion. So yeah, we go down to pretty much cold depending where you are in South Africa. I would say inland you go down to in the mornings 0 and stuff like that. But I mean, oh, I don't know if you go down to more than 0. I haven't seen that on my car, but yeah, I suppose in other parts, and then it gets really cold. And yeah, then you know, you have your fireplaces burning, blah blah blah, and or your heaters on, or your what's this thing's aircons on with layers of clothing. But then the days are warm, so the days go up to like 17-18 degrees. So it's just the mornings and the evenings that are cold in South Africa. Well, where I live, right? Because you know, I don't want to say it's everywhere, but I mean, I live in a pretty cold place. So yeah, so just added our our signature honeycomb on that page, and then now let's see what we're going to be doing. So as I mentioned, this idea is from Shabby Dabby Doodah. So what I had is that I took a page from the kit, and I wanted this image on the front of my booklet, and then I didn't worry about the back because the back is going to be glued down in that manner there. Okay, so that was going to be fine. And then I just folded it in half, as you can see, but I'll give you the measurements of this. And the reason why I made it this small is because I want a top pocket. If you want a side pocket, you can pick this up. You can make this larger. It depends on you. So in centimeters, it is 14 centimeters long by 10 centimeters wide, but it's doubled, remember that, okay? So just double your width. So instead of 10 centimeters, make it 20, and then fold it in half, okay? And then in inches, it is excuse me, what's it, 5.5 yeah, 5.5 centimeters, inches long, and 4 inches wide. So it'll be 8 inches altogether. You'll cut your piece 8 inches and then fold it in half at 4 inches, okay? But the length will remain the same. Cool. You can use anything, it doesn't really matter. I had a print on both sides, so I decided I was going to use it like that. And then all I did was I folded it in half, and I inked the edges on all sides. Well, I didn't ink, let's start that again. I did not ink the edges at the back because the back is going to be stuck down, okay? And then I added a piece of like a checkered or gingham material in yellow and white, and I just added the lace trim, okay? And I wanted to sew around it, but I'm thinking twice because this is 128 GSM. I don't think I'm going to sew around it. I was debating it, but I think the card is a little bit, it's not the sturdiest of cardboard, hence I don't want to sew around it. And then what we're going to use is we're going to use some of this here, and you can use anything. You can use string, and you can use whatever you want to, it doesn't really matter. But we're going to tie this booklet. Oh okay. Right, we're going to tie it, so it's going to be held down with this string, okay? All right, and inside the booklet, let's just move this to one side. I don't really need it now. Inside the booklet, I prepared some scrappy papers here, and the largest of these, I would say maybe just 1 centimeter short on, yeah, maybe 1.5 centimeters short on either side, just so that it fits into the book, okay, like that. And that's all I did there. And I think I'm gonna cut this down here. I'm gonna cut that one down just so that it looks a bit uniform. I'm looking, sorry, looking for my scissor. Ooh. These lights are bright today. Couldn't really see where the fold is, so it's a tad bit crooked, but I think it's okay. Yes, so let's take that out so that looks a little bit neater. Just leave it to one side. So we're going to glue this onto this here like that as well, but I'm going to glue it after I stick it down. All right, okay, so all I'm going to do is I'm going to measure it up and say how much do I want the book to close. I mean, how much of this do I want in the book? Okay, and let's see. Yeah, so maybe about that much. Yeah, I'll think about that much, right? So I'm going to give you the measurements now. There. And let's see what those measurements are. Now this is just ordinary, no, I don't know what even, I don't know. It's quite a thick twine. And like you won't use it for, you probably won't use it for, you know, like sewing your journal. There's a ruler here. Just let's use this ruler. I still haven't found my other 30 centimeter ruler. So it's 47, 47 centimeters and 16, 18.5 inches. Okay, so that's that there. Right, so now let's try and see what we're going to do here. Right, so anyway, what I was talking to you about, and then I said I was very rude, was the fact that I want to do a my next project. I want to do a what's this word? I'm just trying to find the middle of the string, and in the middle, kind of eyeballing the middle of the book here. Okay, so that's the middle of the string. I'm trying to eyeball the middle of the book here, booklet, and put it down that way. Yeah, so nevertheless, let's start again. I want to do a neutral journal. Okay, so what is a neutral journal? So you can either use coffee dyed paper, or and if you want to follow along, that's why I'm letting you know, you can either use coffee dyed paper or coffee dyed cardboard, cardstock. So I'm just adding this piece of sellotape here. Okay, and that's to hold that the string in place. Also remember, we're making it into a tuck, a pocket, so whatever we're putting into it, it won't get stuck on the string. Right, so it's serving two purposes in that way. And then let's just cut out the excess here. Right, I'm trying to do two things at one time, talk to you about the journal and then do a tutorial over here, so please excuse me. Just neaten it up a bit here. Pull your string in, I think. Pull your string in so that you don't cut your string. And I hope I'm saying that and I don't go and cut my string. Let's just pull this out a little bit more. Okay, just pulling this out on this side a little bit more so that I get to the string here. I mean the, what's this thing called? It will be easier for you. Sorry, these lights are like shining on the string, making it so hard for me to figure out where the string is and where the sellotape is. Sorry, that's why I'm going, you know, I'm becoming a little bit quieter, trying to figure this out over here because these lights are shining on it. Just give me a second. Now it got stuck on the side. Something. Thankfully the paper is a bit glossy, so it didn't like rip. Just gonna take some out there. Yeah, that's better. Oh my word. Maybe if I get that out of my hand, then my fingers will be a bit more nimble. There we go. Done. Neat now. Yes, so you can either use coffee dyed paper, or you can use, I don't know where my bin went to, or you can use coffee dyed cardstock, but depending on what's, you know, weight you use on your journals. And then you can also use what Shabby Dabby Doodah does, Tina, is I'm just burnishing this down nicely. Can you hear that noise? How cute. I like that noise. You can either yeah, she uses, Tina uses, and I think I might do that, is that she uses a few book pages and she then glues them together and then sews them in on the machine, and she uses that as the base, and she uses rings, okay, to be able to oh, we can cut this down a little further, but let's not cut it down now until we know how thick the booklet is going to be in there. Right, she uses the rings to be able to hold the pages together, so it's a ring bound journal. Right, so we're going to do that, and what we're going to do is we're going to minimize the use of digitals. Now I have a digital neutral collage kit in my store, but I might use it here and there, but the whole idea is I'm trying to do something without digitals, because I know there's a lot of people that don't have printers and things like that. So you will find in the series, you are going to find me using my digital collage kit on occasion. Okay, it's not a big kit, it's a small kit. So you will find me using it, but you can always substitute it for something else rather. But the whole idea is I want to keep the kit as, the journal as neutral as possible. Okay, so now let's just see whether the label is in, that image is facing in the right direction. Yes. And now let's stick this. And all I did here is that I glued this with fabric glue, and then I sewed it onto the paper. So let's bring out our, I think I'm not going to use fabric glue. I think I'm going to use ordinary glue, because this is going to go to the back, so it doesn't really matter. It's, if it, I don't need to bother whether it shows through or not. Normally if it was the front, I will bother. Like I glued it with fabric glue, the material, before I stitched it on. Yeah, so I'm going to just pause this video just now. I want to show you what rings I'm talking about, so that if you are going to follow along with me, then you have time to buy the rings. Hopefully I should start the journal probably in the next 2 weeks, 1.5 to 2 weeks. Okay, all right, so while this is drying, let me pause this video so I can go and bring those rings, because I wasn't actually going to show you, but now that I think about it, if you want to follow along, then maybe it would be a good time for you to see those rings, so you know what I'm talking about. So let me pause and let me bring those rings to you. Okay, 1 minute. Okay, so I am back. Let me just pull my chair in. Right, so these are the rings that I'm speaking about, and they look like this, and then they open out they open out like that. Okay, can you see that? And then they close again. Right, so they open up enough for you to add something to it, like that, and then they close. And now I've got them in 2 sizes. Okay, so you need 2. So I got them in that size, and I got them in a smaller size. I don't want it to be a very big journal. I want it to be yo, these are tough, eh? These are hard for my poor hands. I told you before, I don't have the strongest of hands. I'm a weakling. Yeah, but they will open. Get someone stronger to open them if you can't. Let's try this one. It is opening, it just don't have the strength to pull it apart there, because you know it like clips in. So I actually don't have the strength to, and well, maybe it's because I just put lotion again right now. When I took a break, put it on pause because my hands was feeling so dry. I put lotion and hand cream and I had to put again. So maybe that's also because it's slipping from my hand. Let's see if we have to say in centimeters. How big is this biggest one? I'm taking it from inner edge to inner edge. 4.5. Okay, 4.5, or what's that? Trying to see. Yes, 1 3/4. 1, yeah, about 1 3/4. So do the math. I think don't trust me. And the small one is 1.5. Yeah, 1.5 or 4 centimeters. No, not 4. Just under 4 centimeters. Really? Okay, yeah. So that's that. And then while I was away, I thought, let me put some bees on it. Let me put some bees on the dangles. Now, let's see. It's going to be quite a thing. I did test it out right now. It did fit. But, yeah, you know Murphy's Law, when you're on camera, nothing works. So while I'm getting this sorted out here, then I think what I wanted to tell you also about the neutral kit. Can you believe this, ladies and gents? Can you believe it? Just refuses to go in, and yet it did. Okay, so I had to just be a little bit fancy here and not split the thread, but just kind of, you'll know this, make the thread longer lengthwise, no, thinner, I don't know, to push it through the holes. But it worked. That's the good part. It did work. And then all I'm going to do now is I am going to just tie it, double tie like that. I'm not going to double tie it at the moment. Let me see how long it's going to be. Let's just tie it once. Oh, it's okay. I think so. Let's see. Just tie it once like that for now, and then let's see once we do tie it how long it becomes. No, it's fine. It's fine. Okay, just don't make your knots here too tight. Yeah, and then now I'll double tie it here. Double tie it here like that. And then I'll just remove all the pieces that look a little bit too frayed. Oh, but that looks cute. I think I'm gonna leave it. Okay, and on this side as well. And now we'll glue it into the book. Cute, 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 cute. There we go. And let's bring this back here. Now this would have been, I think, like that. Let me just get, yes, there, and then doesn't matter. Yes, it does, because this was the piece. Yeah, it was upside down. Just want to make sure that everything is right. There. That's it. Right. Now that's right. Everything, yes, everything's good. Okay, and we're going to glue it to this here. Right, so remember now, just taking out the pins from here. Let's see what's that. Oh, I see what has happened. Did you notice how late did you notice how lazy I am to untie that? Just let's untie it. I'm so lazy to untie this. That side. Now I must. Yes. So yeah. Now, so in our book, in our neutral journal, if you're wondering how we're going to decorate it, we are going to decorate it using like things like lace, which will you know, I think you might all have, and then paper ruffles, fabric ruffles. So go ahead and tea dye your paper ruffles, and or coffee dye your paper ruffles that you have, and coffee dye your materials that you have. And I think I'm going to be working with like a duck egg blue as well. Okay, so I think maybe a hint of pink, I don't know, but I'm thinking like cream and a duck egg blue. I don't know. I mean, that's the colors that are going through my mind. So those are the colors I'm probably going to be using there. All right, so we've got the rings. You're going to, if you're going to be using cardboard or any type of thicker you know, like journal pages as such, pages, then use your get your cardboard. I would say at least 128 GSM onwards. Okay, if you're going to be using cardboard, right? Prep that as well. I think we're going to start maybe with 10 pages, and let's see how fat the journal gets. And the beauty of this is that, remember, we can add on to it. We can add on to it, right? So prep your cardboard, or if you're going to be doing what I'm going to be doing, then get your pages ready. But I'm going to do a video of what all the things that we're going to be using, right? Shortly, in the next 2 weeks, of what we're going to be using. But the point is, we should have some. I'm just, you know, telling you this so that you can have some stuff ready to work with. Right. So while that's drying, I did a video on this, yeah, a mixed media base. It's called, I think, mixed media base or whatever. So I'm just taking this card here, and I am going to ink up the edges like that with my walnut stain. And then you can make flowers as well. I might do an episode where I make some flowers. You know, this is the wrong card. This is the short card. Just give me a second. No. There's the card. Sorry, my mistake. I took the card and I put it to, I sewed it, so I wanted a longer card. So, sorry about that. It was lying by my sewing machine. Yes, so mixed media flower, not mixed media flowers, I talk nonsense. Flowers, you know, journaling flowers and stuff like that. So, just get all that ready so that you can use it. But as I mentioned, I probably will do a video on making some embellishments, not all the embellishments, but some of the things that we can be using. And then I'm just going to take this card here, which is, I've got a tag punch. It's not the whale one, but it's good enough. And just ink it up on both sides. So it looks like that. And this gives you a lot of journaling space. More than it would have given you if you just left the page blank. Okay, so we're going to add that there. And if you can hear that noise, it's my aircon. It's still quite early in the morning here and it's pretty cold. Yeah, so I don't know why. I'm quite excited to start that journal. So, and I hope that you will follow along. I think it's going to be like 10 pages, 10 and then 2. So if you're using your book pages, then I'm going to show you how to prepare that, the book pages, okay? So these the oh maybe I didn't put enough. Oh no, I did, but I didn't hold it down long enough. Let's just hold it down. Let's not be impatient. Sorry, I don't know if I'm in frame. Anyway, I wasn't doing anything. It's just getting that sorted out. And there we go. Let's add that to there. That's why I wanted a longer tag. I wanted it to stick out. And then the last thing I wanted to do is I wanted to add this. This was the leftover from here. And I just wanted to add that there, like that. And I'm going to take out my fabric glue for that. And I just want to add a daub of this fabric glue to here. And I know that one is longer than the other. Okay, and the fabric glue does dry clear, so there's a little bit that's out there. I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna slant it at an angle later on because I don't want to upset this from drying. But that's it, ladies and gents. This is what we have. We have a book with a pocket and access a pocket over there, and then you open it up like that, and then it has a little booklet inside. And if you want, you can even add a you know, like a piece of paper here, like a coffee dyed, and that can also become a journaling spot. The reason why I didn't is because I've got that there as well in these here, so I don't want to write on that side because it'll be a bit bumpy. That's it. So I hope you enjoyed this, and if you did enjoy it and you are not yet a subscriber, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel for more of this type of content. And if you enjoyed it, please consider giving it a thumbs up. And when you subscribe, you know, if you hit the notification tab, you will be made aware or alerted every time I post a video on YouTube. And also remember, our Facebook competition is closed. It closed yesterday, so I think I told everyone I was drawing on the 2nd for our Facebook competition, but then I realized, wait, if today's the 1st, tomorrow is the 2nd, which makes that a Thursday, and then Friday is the 3rd. I meant the 4th of June. Sorry, it's going to be on a Saturday, and I've already got the person who's going to be drawing. It's my son. He's very excited. I'm going to put the names in a hat, and then I'm going to do the draw. He's going to draw it for us, but I'm going to try and film it live, and then I'll notify the person on my Facebook group. And then we are 492 subscribers, so we are very close on our 500. Remember, we are doing a YouTube giveaway for 500 subscribers. All you need to do is you need to be a subscriber. Your YouTube subscription must be public, so I can see or verify that you are a subscriber. You need to comment on the video, which is vertical spaces for your journal. I think it could be the video before this, okay? Vertical spaces or journaling spaces. Sorry, I can't remember the exact title of it. You need to comment on that, and you need to like it, and you need to be a subscriber on my channel, and I must be able to verify your subscription. So you go into the draw for the 500 subscriber giveaway, which is going to be a what's this wordy, a digital kit from my Etsy store. Okay, so as soon as we reach 500, I might have maybe 1 or 2 videos after that, just reiterating the competition, and then I'm going to draw. But I will normally draw either on a Saturday or a Sunday. It's just when I have the most time on my hands. Okay, that's it. We are done for today, and I hope that you have a blessed day, you have a blessed week ahead, and that you follow me on my neutral journal. I've got quite a few journal kits that I haven't done journals with as yet, but I thought for you people out there, you know, or for people out there that like neutral or like not using journal digital kits, this is for you as much as it is for me, because I'm really excited to do that. Oh, and I wanted to tell you something, just 2 things. Give me a second, please. I'm so sorry, but I just thought I'd let you know quickly while I've got the video running. Right, so this is coffee dyed paper, okay, and you know, from the end of your pages, etc. So these are what we're going to be making our our coffee dyed ruffles with. Okay, so start doing that. I've got a very, very easy way to do it. It takes me like 5 minutes to do a few, but maybe I'll share that some other time with you. And then, oh, look what I did. Nice. So if you don't have these rings here, you can always put it into an old, what would this be? A diary, or there's a word for it. Folio fax or something like that, I think it's called, where there's already those rings in it. So you can do that as well. Right. So if you're finding that difficult to get, these come a dime a dozen in the thrift store. You can see that right now I'm using a 2017 one because I picked it up from the thrift store. And all I do is I go in and I just change, like for example, I just change the date and the day, and it's fine. I'm not particular about that because I don't, this is just my, like a little bit of a planner that I have, and then I just use it when I want to. When I'm overwhelmed and all the ideas or all the things that I need to do don't stick in my head, then I just go and do that. Okay, thank you for watching. Bye bye.